Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ravina Acharya, the president of SEI Structural Engineering Institute, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this hands-on training session: how to prepare high-quality research paper, documents, reports, theses, and dissertations. As researchers and students, we all know how crucial it is to present our work in a professional, organized, and well documented manner. A high quality research paper document is not just about the content, it is also about how effective we can communicate our findings, our documents, our data to the audience. This session aims to equip you with all the essential tools, techniques to structure, format, reference, and visually present your research in the best possible way. Today, our expert trainer will guide you through the process, sharing his valuable tips and strategies to ensure that your research document meets the highest standard. Whether you are at the beginning of your research journey or looking at to refine your skills, this session has something for you, everyone. So, without a further ado, let me introduce you to Abhijit Paul, who will be leading you on this today's session. He has already published 5 research papers and 4 research papers are under review. So, so I think his expertise and experience will be relevant to this session. So please join me in welcoming Abhijit Paul. Abhijit, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I am Abhijit Pal. I'm the Vice President of SEI, and I'm going to show you today how you can prepare impactful and good formatted research or research document. So it's all starts with our. I'm going to show my screen first. Ravina, can you just give me the permission to share the screen?
But I'm not getting any notifications yet. So,
The sharing screen is turned off right now.
um,
Can you just go to share settings and see?
yeah, let me see. Wait. Um, yeah, I think now you can just share the
Yeah,
settings. Yeah.
thank you. So to prepare the document, we will be using Microsoft Word. I guess everyone has Microsoft Word and used it, I know. And these are very basic stuff, but very important to prepare a research document or any kind of document you need. So first of all, what I do, what I think most of us should do is you need to know your headings of your document. That is, you need to know your title of the paper or document. If you don't have any cover page or something, you can start from the very first page. And then for a journal article, you need abstract, introduction, maybe research significance, and this kind of stuff, heading and subheadings. So to do that, you can write right away that this is your number one introduction and number two is research significance. But here is an option in Word that you can use multiple times so that you don't have to think about that introduction is going to be Times New Roman font number 12 bold, and this is going to be one and second one is two. You don't have to think about it. What you do is go to first type your thing that one is introduction. Then you select the word or whatever heading you have. If it's a first heading, go to your style and then right click on the heading one and update it. As I already updated it, it didn't change. So when you update it, it's gonna be one. See, now my second introduction is gonna be two. If I delete this one, my second introduction becomes one. In this way, you can do the first heading. For the second heading, when you go down, if you write something, suppose in my case, it's concrete. So concrete is my, before updating your headings, you have to select and format as you want. I'm using Times New Roman font, and for my font size, it's 12, and I don't want to bold it. So this is my subheading, and I want it to be, first of all, you need to do it for the heading one, but it's actually not heading one, it's heading two. So when you do it, then click a tab, it will be heading two. If your heading two is not formatted yet, you can format it now because it's already 4.1. And if it's not 4.1, then 4.1, do it from here, 4.1, and then you can start your writing your heading. Again, for I want to show you from here that for suppose introduction, I'm writing something for introduction as a subheading. This is gonna be Times New Roman. This is font 12. And now if I do it for heading, then click a tab, it will be 1.1. So in this way, it's same for the later headings that 4.2.1. You can do it in the same manner. You just have to format your text first and then come here to whichever heading you want and then update heading 3 to match the selection. Now we are going to cover why we need this one. This is important to have a navigation pane. If you can see, when I have my document structured, I can see from the heading tab here in the navigation pane from the view tab. And also when you're gonna export it as a PDF, it is gonna show a book-like structure from where you can just click and go to the section. Also, this is important to add the table of figures for like reports and all. Maybe if you were writing a book, then or maybe the dissertation, you need the table of content. For that one, you need to go to the reference tab. Here, if you just click on the table of content on the left side of your tabs on the top of your uh, tables, here there is a multiple styles. For the first one, you can use the first one and see, you can now you can change your font style and all, and this will be your, and you don't have to think about the page numbers because all of my sections are not expanded, all of my sections are on page 1. But if I expand my section 3, which has some writings for later demonstration, and now if I update the table, it updates it automatically. And I can change my font style from here because I am using Times New Roman. So just select the table, Times New Roman, whatever font size you want. That's it. You can use different font size also. Now we are going to go to how to add a table. You can add a table from Excel sheet directly. The style of your table depends on the type of document you are preparing. It can be all cells visible and maybe something kind of this. So to add a table for a caption, I already have a table here, but I'm gonna demonstrate it to you that go to the reference tab and go to insert caption. Here, whatever your label is, go to table. This is table 1 because this is the only table I have here. If it's another table after table 1, then it's gonna be table 2. And in this way, you don't have to think about the numbering things in your table captioning, but because anything can change while preparing the document. So whenever you are inserting a table or figure above another one, then your numbering will change for the latter ones. So if you do it in this way, the caption, use the insert caption option, then your automatic captioning will be on. As my table should look like this, table 1, then it's okay. See, my second table is table 2 now. I can type my caption, table caption. Suppose this is a table caption. And whenever I'm using this table in my text, like this one, I have referred this table in my text. So whenever doing this, we can go to cross-reference, go to select the reference type. As we are using the table one, then use the table. We don't want the entire caption. We only need the label and the number of the table. So select only number and the table. Then select from here which one do you want. I'm gonna refer to table 1. So I'm selecting this one and inserting it. And for this one, I have, if you go to the home tab, my normal section looks like this, which is not Times New Roman. So if you select a text and modify your normal section, that's your body, then it will update everything. See, this one has changed. So whenever I'm using my normal style, my normal body text looks like this. I don't have to think about formatting anymore. Again, the good thing about this is, as you see, this one is table 1, but it was from the previous ones. Actually, this is table 2. As I'm cross-referenced it in my text, now if I go to select the table and go to right click on it and update the field, it will update it to table 2. You can do it for the entire text. Select all the document with Control A, and you can right click on the references, cross references, and update the field. Everything will be updated. If I move this one from here to somewhere here, if I update this one now, it will be table 2 now, and this one will change into table 1. But for that one to change, I have to select everything, right click on the text, and update the field. So everything will be changed now. So in this way, you don't have to think about your table form, table captioning and in-text references of those. Same goes with the figure. If you want to add a figure, for figure, the caption goes below the figure, and for table, the caption goes above the table. So to do the caption for the figure, go to the reference tab again, go to insert caption, and now there are multiple options. If you don't have any, you can add a new label. If you want your figure style, the figure caption should look like all capital, like this, then type this one and click OK. So my figure style caption looks like this now. Then click OK. This figure one and this figure one are not same because this is a different style. This one is fig dot and this one is figure one. So if I add this one, it will not change and the latter figures will not change. So in one document, you are going to use only one type of caption for figure and table. So this is how you add the new label for figures. But for now, I'm using the old one. That is my fig.1. Go to insert caption, select your label. So as it is after the figure 1, it is going to be figure 2. Click OK, and you can write your caption. If I want to cross-refer this one in the text, suppose here, I go to cross-ref, I select my label, select fig. I only need the label and the caption number, label and the number of the table figure. This is my figure. Insert this one, and it will be updated here. So the good thing about cross-reference, adding list of table and list of figure can be done through this cross-reference thing. So if we go to the very front of the page of our document, here in the reference tab, we have insert table of figures. Go here, select whatever you want. Like for my case, I'm going to add my list of figures so that my page number and the figure caption, everything will be in one list. This is important for report preparation or maybe your thesis dissertation. Select figure, click OK, and it comes here with the page number. But this one we can add the heading of this thing, that is list of figures, and format as we want. List of figures. Same things can be done for list of tables. Go to your insert table of figures, select table, click OK. Sorry. Why it is selecting this one? Okay. So make sure you haven't select the previous table. Otherwise, it will prompt you to if you want to delete it or not. Here is your list of tables. In this way, you can do your list of tables and list of figures, and also caption your use caption for your table, figure, and cross-ref them in your text. Next, we are going to use the how to reference an article in your paper. So to use the reference, what I use is EndNote. EndNote is free from UTA. You can download it from the link, this link. So we can add 50,000 references and 2 GB of attachments with them. So the PDFs of the references will be there, and the references limit is 50,000. That's more than enough you need. Till now, in my 6 years, I have added only 800 papers. That is all. I didn't use all of them, but you can see how many papers you want. So this basic version is okay for you. So go to this website. I will post it in our Teams chat so that you can use it further. And after installing the software, what you have to do is you have to go to Google Scholar to find your paper. So go if I want to find a paper on concrete, suppose concrete cover detection. So maybe this is my this first one is my paper. So to download the reference for this one, what I have to do is click on site and then click on EndNote because I have a EndNote software. You can use Zotero or Mendeley, any of them. For them, for those ones, you need to use other kind of reference style, or maybe you have to manually do it. I use EndNote, and I think that it is more convenient because you have a plugin in your Word, so you can use this one. So click on EndNote. It will download a citation for you. So go to your EndNote, go to File, and then click on Import File. The one you are gonna download is gonna be a previous version, so maybe some kind of different outline or navigation will be there, but the process is the same. So my one was EndNote import because that is a EndNote file. Select this one here and choose your file. My one is in my download section, and I remember that was Scholar. It is not going to be the name of your paper. It is going to be something kind of this. This ENW is your EndNote file system. So open this one and click on import. As you can see, my citation is already here. So if you have a folder for your dissertation or any paper, you can move it to the section. For my one, I was preparing an NSA proposal, so all of my citations goes to that folder because I need all of them in one place. If you can see, my 136 references are in one folder, and other ones are not filed yet. Okay, so this is the one we imported. So click on this, click on the reference, and you can copy the title of the paper. Copy this one, go to your Word file. If you want to cite it here, anywhere in the text, go if when you install the EndNote, you will have a EndNote tab in your Word software. Go to this EndNote tab and go to Insert Citation. Paste your name of the document. Click on Find. This is the only document that has the same name, so it is already there. I'm going to insert this one. You can see this is my second reference. So I already it has the name numbering of 2. If I go to my end of the section, and bibliographic section will be there automatically. So you don't have to write this section for your references. What references you have used and what is the name of the reference. Just the number will be there, or maybe the author's name. I will go to the style section in a minute. So you don't have to think about the bibliography of your references. And the good thing is you don't have to think about the numbers also. You just have to insert your paper. You don't have to think about anything else. So everything will be automatized. So for this one, this is a IEEE style, which is a numbering style. I can use the different style here. That is, suppose my I'm gonna use APA 7th style, which is a author based author name based system. If I click on this one, you can see the citation style changed. And in my bibliographic section too, the numbers are gone. And it is based on the alphanumeric order. That is, H is before N. That's why N is the second one and H is the first one. Okay. If you want to add multiple citations in one after this one, suppose Nafa et al. After this one, you want another one. Just click on the citation, go to insert citation again. You can find, let me see. Suppose anyone, I want this one to be added. Select this one, insert this one. It will be added after this. This will be in one bracket. You don't have to because if you want to add like this, like if I want to add my name, it doesn't look good. If it's side by side, you have to do it in a bracket. So click on the reference, go to insert citation and insert your citation. If you do it here, it will be a different citation. So it will be not in the same bracket. If you want to change the thing, suppose you want to say, okay, uh, let me go to the, yeah. So here you can see I was using the numbering format. So for that one, I had to type Hossein et al. Did this one, studied by Hossein et al. But now my citation style is Hossein et al. In the bracket. So it is saying Hossein et al., Hossein et al. Again and again. So when you are using an API style, what you have to do is you don't have to write anything. Delete this one. Go to select the citation. Go to the edit and manage citations here. And then change the formatting. For this one, the formatting will be author and year. Click OK. And your citation style changed from in the bracket Hossein et al. To the bracket is only applied to the year. So you can change your citation style. You can change your citation in text for different styles. Also, when you update something in between, you can always click on the update citation and bibliography. It will update everything that is not being updated. Now for figures. There are multiple figure making softwares. You can also take figures for the from the Excel sheet, but for some figures you can use Adobe Illustrator and all. I'm going to show particularly the diagram one. So let me go to my browser, and there is a website that is a free one, and it prepares high quality images, that is Draw.io. Drawio.com. You can open an account, and you don't if you don't want to open an account, that's fine. Go to start. Here I have a previously prepared diagram here. As you can see, this one is very easy to make. If I want to show you one, it is a box. I can write my diagram, whatever my things are. And then if I click on the next arrow and whatever style I want, I can add it, I can adjust it, I can move the boxes or circles anywhere, it will follow the arrow. So I don't have to manually change the arrows in between. Maybe this is my second one, and this is my end. You can also change your font here, select all the tabs. You can change the style from the right side. It is depends on you that whatever color you want. If you want the arrows to be black, it's change the color from here. It is black now. So styling and everything depends on you. To export this one, this is gonna export a PNG file. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a background for this. So because PNG files are, sorry, this one is square. So PNG files are transparent in nature. So if I want to export it, it will not export any background. So I'm adding a background. I'm gonna send it back so that everything is in front, my content. To export this one, I have to go to File. I have to go to File and go to Export As. Here you have an Advanced tab. To select the pixel density you want to make high resolution images. Generally, I pick 400 dpi, and you can change your name here. For me, it's diagram 1, and click on export. It will again ask for the name. Save it in your device. It will download the figure. If you open the figure is a good density, high resolution figure. You can add it in your document, and the possibilities are endless. So you can use it for your diagram preparation or flowchart or anything. And also you can paste your figures here to do the editing. And this is a different kind of file system. So if you want to download the actual thing so that you can change it later, go to File, Save As. This is your draw.io file. Next time, if you download this one, as I'm downloading this in my download section, if I want open a new one, blank one, so this is the blank one. I want to edit my previous figure. So I will drag my sorry, I will drag my previous document, that is .draw.io file, paste it here. It will be shown here. You can edit from here also. As I didn't open any account, so this will not save in my online account. It will be in my PC. So that's all from my side. I think Dr. Yazdani already joined our meeting to give his insight to prepare document. Sir, if you wanna continue, I think that would be good.
Hold on, my camera is off. How are you all?
Good, sir.
I'm not sure how much time I have. I need 5 hours.
So you can have the time.
No, I don't see a lot of attendance, right? How many are there? 10?
10, sir.
Okay, not bad. So following up with Abhijit, sorry I'm late because I had another meeting with the college industrial board of advisors. The president came and gave his speech on the West Campus expansion. So I just came from there. So I'm going to share a document with you. I think what I'm going to talk today is the structure of a research document. Has it been covered already by somebody, or
No,
that's
sir.
something?
I was talking about only the how to structure for formatting the document.
Okay. So let me share my screen. Make sure I'm on the right one here. Hope you can share my screen. So I will discuss today the general structure and the flow of information in any research document. It could be a research paper for a journal, for a conference. If you're doing a graduate studies, a thesis or dissertation, it could be a report for a funding agency for research. So the structure and the philosophy is pretty much the same. If you look at the different components of a research paper, these are basically as follows. You can see here the progression from introduction to methods to results and discussion. And I found them on the web today. Kind of complicated, right? If you think of the research paper, the way it's structured, there are different components. It's not that bad once you understand the flow of information from the title to the introduction to the abstract and the methodology and so on. This flowchart I like because this is what is used by most journal authorities when they review a research paper. Anybody knows what citation means? People are now competing for citation, right? Have you gone to Google Scholar and look up your name? It's a big business. So once somebody cites your paper, citing means references your paper, your name goes on that system. So now there are people who have papers with 10 authors, 15 authors. It's kind of playing the game, I don't like that. So please be careful. Only people who contributed to the paper should be included, not like your friends or whoever. So we need to be ethical in the publication business. Also, the fact that the paper publication process is a very rigorous one. It's not unusual to have the paper under review for 12 months. And then there could be repeated reviews. There are reviewers who'll be looking at your paper. Typical journal, for example, ASC journals or ACI journals would send it to 4 or 5 reviewers. They're experts in their field. They will review it and give comments back. They may reject it, they may accept it with revisions, or they may say publish as is. That rarely happens. Typically, they'll have some comments, they'll send it back to you, then you revise it and resubmit it. So the process can take some time, especially for very well-known journals like AC and so forth. So I have broken it down into different components. If you see here, the first thing is the document title, of course. The title should be nice, short, not very long, and it should really capture the essence of the paper, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to present to the audience. So many journals have a length limitation on this document title. Maybe, I don't know, 80 words or not 80 words, 80 characters or something. So make sure that it's not too long. Also avoid using an abbreviation in the title. The abbreviation anywhere you use in the text of the document should be spelled out the first time you use it. For example, I can write here, first time I use it, I'm going to type American Concrete Institute. Very well known, right? Especially in my field. The abbreviation is SEI, right? So once I use it here, next time I won't do the same thing. I'm going to just follow and use SEI. So that's the norm in research documents. After that, I forgot to mention something here. It should be the author names, and designations. So here is what I mentioned before, the author's names who has contributed to the paper, they have reviewed it, they have accepted it. Those names should go in here in order of preference. So there is a first author, there is a second author, third, and so on. Let me see where I went wrong. Designations. Okay. So first author is very important, right? In people's mind, that author gets most credit for publishing the paper. That would be typically the case of, in my case, when I write a journal article with my students, if they've done the work, mainly they've done the work, I put the student's name here to go first. If there are multiple students, I'll put them second, third, and so on. Then my name, maybe my co-colleagues' names or postdoc names and something. So the hierarchy is the most important contribution first, next one, and so on. And please, if you have any question, ask me, or you can put it in the chat. Abstract is a short description of the project. So this goes right after the author names. This is like a summary of your research, what you have done, starting from the need of the research to the knowledge gap, which I'll explain below here, then the method you followed, then the results you got, and the conclusions you draw. And many journals have limitation, like 200 words or 300 words. So you have to make sure that you don't exceed those limitations. Actually, it's not a bad idea before you start writing a journal paper to identify the journal first. For example, if I go here and look at the SEI structural journal, which is very well known, and there are tons of other journals like that, you have to go to that website and look at the author's guidelines. And each journal is different. So you have to look at how they want the fonts to be laid out, what size fonts, margins, headings, the style of the headings, how the figures should be placed, how they will be formatted, and so on. If you don't do that, then they will send it back to you without review, and you're going to lose valuable time. So I'd strongly suggest that you look at the specific criteria for the journal before you start writing your paper. Then the other parts come. This is a very important part, background and merit. Essentially, what you're trying to say here is that what has been done so far? Suppose you're writing a paper or trying to do research on certain, for example, bridge retrofit or pollution control or water supply or whatever. Then what's the specific problem? Why is it important? So what has been done before? So you need to do a literature review. That's the very first thing you need to do before you write this paper. Actually, when you write this paper, that part and many other part has been done already. So you come back and start writing on this. So when you start the research, you do the background review. That may essentially you have some keywords. You go to Google or some other database and find out what prior work has been done, what projects have been done, what they found. Then you try to summarize them in this section. And then after that, you say, here is what the knowledge gap is. The knowledge gap means that there is something that needs to be discovered. For example, a new method, a new laboratory technique, a new computer model, a new bridge design approach or whatever, a new material, and new equipment, and so on. So if you don't show that in this part, your research is not really acceptable in terms of intellectual merit. So that's where most students get lost. You need to summarize the current knowledge base, what has been done clearly with references. So what Abhijit was mentioning, the references, they must be clearly listed here after each of these summary that you find, and then say, what's the missing information? Why is it important? And how this study will solve that problem. And then you can also mention how your research will benefit the profession and society. For example, a civil engineering society, if I do research on bridges, how is going to improve bridges? How will prolong the bridge service life? How will that be economic in terms of benefit costs and things like that? How will it affect the communities surrounding the bridge? So you have to make a very strong case that you have done something unique, was never done before, and you are plugging that knowledge gap that is so critical. Now, this is interesting. Frequently, some students come to me and they say, Dr. Yazdani, I did this literature review. I was disappointed because not much work has been found. Is that good or bad? That's a very good, because that means that the research hasn't been done. So there's a lot of knowledge gap. If you find a lot of information on a topic, there's no need to do the research, right? It makes sense to me. Now, these two are kind of optional. Intellectual merit and broader impact is probably more applied to research proposals, for example, National Science Foundation or Texas DOT. But you may like to think the research you're doing, is it creating some fundamental knowledge that is lacking now? Not like applied knowledge, things like developing a code or developing a tool, but are you solving a fundamental scientific or engineering problem that's now missing? For example, if I find out the material properties and the material behavior in a bridge, or let's say the structural behavior that has not been solved before, that's fundamental knowledge. And how your research will fill that knowledge gap. After that, the broader impact is also related to the dissemination. So once you develop this knowledge, you write this paper or you write a report, how are you going to disseminate that to the stakeholders? Stakeholders mean those people who will be benefited from your research. The example is that if I do a lot of research on bridges, highway bridges, so that research, the stakeholders would be then clearly the communities surrounding it who are using that bridge, contractors who are building the bridge, designers, material suppliers, concrete and steel suppliers, then inspectors who are going to inspect the bridge, and then the government authorities, local authorities, city and county authorities, jurisdictions, and so on. So you need to disseminate to them. There are a lot of ways to disseminate it. The journal paper you write will be published, and hopefully they will read that, and the wide audience will be benefited from that. You can go to a conference and present your findings. That's another way to disseminate the information. There are worldwide conferences. SEI has some, TRB has some, and AC has some. You know all about that. The local conferences as well. Then, how will they use your knowledge, the stakeholders, and how will it impact the profession? If you summarize all that in a paragraph, that's called broader impacts. After that, then you go to research methodology. This is also an important part. Here you lay out your vision of how this research should be done. Okay, you can use various research tasks. As you know, you can have a lab-based project, a field-based project, a computer-based project, or a mixed project. Most of my research includes all three. So we are doing some lab testing with concrete samples, field evaluation of bridges, and then computer modeling of bridges. So you have to clearly label them as task 1, task 2, task 3, and so on. Make sure that you understand the link between these different tasks. So it will also be good to maybe show a flowchart of how these tasks relate to each other. So no task should be in isolation. They should be flowing into other tasks very smoothly and with some purpose. And also mention for each task how you can address that fundamental knowledge gap that you identified before. Then we have the results and discussion. You have all these tasks. You have tons of results from these tasks. So now it's time to present the results for each task. So you can go from task 1 to task T2 and task 3 and so on. Clearly mention the results. Results can be done numerically. It can be presented in tabular format. It can be done in figure format, chart format. Lot of ways to present the results. So make sure that they are all presented in a good way so that people can understand what you are talking about in those different elements. And then discuss the significance of your results. What does it mean that if I suppose I say in a bridge, there is certain corrosion in the reinforcement in the bridge, what does it signify? What does it tell us? Tell me in terms of the bridge longevity and the bridge strength and the bridge serviceability. All that goes into this. See clearly, if you look here, they're sort of independent. You don't want to mix and match. For example, if you're doing background review here, you're done here. You don't want to bring it into here, into the methodology or here, because that should have been done before. Common mistake I see students make is that the flow is not there. They do some background review here, and then put some results here. Then they come in here and put background review there. So that is not the right way of doing it. There should be clear delineation of the tasks. At the same time, you need to show how the tasks relate to each other. After this section, it's time to write your conclusions. So common mistake here is that students start with a long paragraph of what they did. That's not the intent of these conclusions. You don't duplicate your results. You don't duplicate your methods. You don't duplicate your background review. None of that goes in here. It's really a concise section, maybe 1 or 2 pages, where you start with a statement like, we have found, or we have formulated the following conclusion based on the research. Then you say number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. Each number conclusion will be one conclusion based on your research, based on your results and discussion. The advantage of doing it numerically is that you can always fall back upon that, so that if your reviewer is talking about your conclusion, then they may tell you, okay, conclusion number 5 needs some more deliberation or some more clarification. So it becomes easier for the reviewer to keep track of the conclusions. So again, no results in this section, just conclusions. Make sure the conclusions are tied to your results. Common mistake is that there's a conclusion here which was never mentioned before. That's not acceptable. Your conclusions are based on your work, not on somebody else's work. Before, I think something I need to go back here and mention. Your results and discussion, I think you can add something else is here, which I forgot. Compare with other people's work. So somebody did a study like 10 years back on something similar. You're going to improvise on that. It's not a bad idea to compare your work with their work and show how results make more sense than that. Okay. So that's the conclusion part. Next is recommendation. So please don't mix conclusion and recommendation. Okay, recommendations are, now I have concluded on my research. What do I recommend? Okay, do I have something that can be done in the future? Extend the study. So we can mention that there. You can, again, this can be numerically presented, number 1, number 2, and number 3, and so on. For example, you did some lab-based work and research work, the parametric study wasn't done. So you need to say, okay, now I do a parametric study with a computer program like Abacus or ANSYS. Then I'm going to extend the span length of the bridge, try a different type of concrete, maybe use another equipment, maybe another exposure, environmental exposure, and so on. And then you can mention also here what challenge you face. Did you face any challenges? Can the methods be changed in the future that you devised? Can your results be applied in practice, maybe in building codes or bridge codes and so forth? So all that should go into here. So limitations are, as I mentioned before, did you face any challenges? Did you have any errors? Did the machine break down? Did you not cover certain important things? You know, every research is limited. We don't have time or the money or the space to address every single parameter. So what was left out, and what could be fitting into here also, right? Recommendation for future research. Reference list. So I think Abhijit may have talked about it. So here you list all the references that were cited before. Nothing more, nothing less. Here, all these cited references must be listed. Okay, if you don't list it, then they will cite you for that. Cite you, quote unquote, right? Pun there. So there are a lot of ways to do this. Some journals want alphabetic listing of the citations. Some of them want the order of citation, for example, number 1 in the beginning, number 2, number 3, so on. So you have to pay attention to the format. You know, if you're writing a journal paper for the journal format, if you're writing a thesis or dissertation, UTA format, and if you are writing for a conference or a funding agency, then their format should be followed. Common mistake is that there is a reference listed here that's not cited anywhere else. That's not acceptable. Also, references cited in the text that are not here. So at the end of the day, you need to cross-check and make sure that the references match fully, all of that. Acknowledgement section is like, this is like thanking people or agencies who have helped you in the research. You can mention here any student worker that helped you, your fellow students, any granting agency, for example, NSF. If the university assisted you with the space for the lab, you know, vehicles and stuff like that, are there donations or any advising? That should be mentioned here. Next, tables, very important, of course, everything is important. So your results will be presented in tables. Even background review can be included in the tables if there are important information from the current knowledge base. So again, they have different formats. For example, AAC journals do not allow any vertical margins, not margin, what do you call that? Borders, vertical borders. So only horizontal borders allowed. So every journal is different. Conference is same way. So you have to use that and then format the tables accordingly. There are two options. Either you can lump all of them at the end of the paper, one by one, or you can insert them after where they're cited in the text. For example, if I mention here table 1 in my text, the table 1 should follow right here somewhere, not like 2 pages down. That's a common mistake, or before where table 1 is cited. I personally prefer this. It's easy for the reviewers to find the table. Otherwise, if you lump it, then they have to go back and forth, and that may be wasting some time. So this is my preference, but if the journal wants you to lump them, you have to follow their guidelines. Same comment for the figures. Different journals have different formatting requirement for figures, how the axis should be titled, what fonts to use. Make sure the common mistake for a figure is that you cannot read the fonts inside the figure. So my judgment is that if you are using, I'm here at 11 font here in the text, that should be the minimum font in the figure as well, not something smaller, because the journal will reduce your figure size because the journal has limited space. So you want something to stand out. So use bold lines for all your figures. Make sure that all the fonts are big enough to read. Use color combinations that work best. It's eye-catching. And make sure that if you are using graphs, you're able to differentiate between the different lines and symbols. So suppose I have 4 lines, 4 graphs in Excel chart. Then I must differentiate through them. I can use different colors, different line type, or maybe different symbols. Now with caution with color use in graphs, some journals don't allow that, or they will charge you a lot of money to publish color figures. So you should, in my opinion, you should make a figure which you reproduce in black and white. You still can see the difference between the lines. So only option would be to use different line types and also use different symbols for the graphs. Make sure you are paying attention to the unit. Okay, some journals prefer US units, some journals prefer SI unit, some journals prefer dual units. Most international journals will like you to use metric only. Some US journals may like you to use dual units with the US unit first, and then the SI unit in parentheses and so on. That creates a problem with graphs and tables, because in the graphs may have one kind of unit that may be overcome by using dual axis. In tables, you can use side by side, with if that's the preference of the journal. Then the other things, like data availability statement. Is the data available to others? What the data you have used, contribution of the authors, and few things that are kind of journal specific. I think that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me? No questions?
Sir, actually, this was very insightful. I think everyone got the point that what needs to be done to prepare a research paper.
Okay, well, I appreciate that very much. I'm always available to assist students if they want some advice on structuring papers, journal papers, and believe me, when I am kind of what you saw suffering from this, like many other professors, students write papers or reports. It's not done right. The two problems. One is the quality of the journal of the paper in terms of the language, technical English, which is always a problem. And I didn't talk about that here, how to write good technical English. And second is the structure of the paper. So frequently, almost always, there's a mixing and matching between the method, the background review, and the conclusion results. So if you separate those and make sure that you write good quality English, technical English, there are classes you can take at UTA, which will teach you how to write technical English. And if your language is bad grammar or bad structure, then the paper will be returned to you. So that really wastes time. As graduate students, your objective is to write good quality papers, disseminate it worldwide, and so that people can learn from what you're inventing. So please keep that in mind.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yasdani and Abhijit, for sharing your expertise with us today. And I think this was really a great program for all of us students who are preparing for the research and thesis. And this program will give the insight into structuring, formatting, and presenting the research, and surely help us all in improving the quality of our work. And I also hope that everyone gained valuable knowledge and is now better equipped with to create high quality research documents. And if you have any questions, you can ask us now, or you can also, if you need any assistance, then please, you can don't hesitate to reach us. And also, uh, you can share this video. We will be uploading this video on the YouTube as well, and you can share this video with your friends as well. Um, do you have any other things to say, Dr. Asdani or Abhijit?
No, I do not. Thank you for the opportunity. Hope you are enlightened by it, and good luck with all your efforts.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, also that's all from me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Asdani and Abhijit once again. And thank you all for your participation. Now I will end this meeting. Thank you and have a great day.